Hi everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, Glam By Sam. For today's video, I'm going to show you the products that I have decluttered recently, and I love doing declutter videos. I always love watching them, but I always love decluttering my makeup collection itself as well, because I have to say I have a pretty decent makeup collection, but at the same time I also like to keep it small and just keep products in there that I genuinely enjoy using. And sometimes I try out a product and it just doesn't really work for me, or I'm just not that into it, and then I like to declutter it because of course makeup is going to expire eventually, and I would much rather have someone else get use out of the product than it like going to waste in my drawer and me like never reaching for it. I have actually decluttered some products over the past couple of weeks and months, and it's been a while since I did a video like this, so I thought in today's video I would show you the products I have decluttered since my last declutter video. So I think without further ado, if you want to see which makeup products I have decluttered and also why, then please keep watching. So I've just moved to the side so I can show the photos right here, because if you are familiar with my makeup declutters, usually I like to sit down and just show you photos of the products, because usually when I declutter something I like to get rid of it right away, just because I have a pretty small room. I don't have like the biggest space for my makeup storage. So I usually get rid of products right away, and I don't want to keep them around just to film this video every once in a while, so it'd be just as convenient to just show you the photos. And sometimes I actually do like live declutters when I know I want to declutter like more of one product in like a certain category. I recently did a lip product declutter, for instance, so just show you kind of have an idea of how I like to do my declutter. So like I said, just going to show you the photos of the products that I have decluttered and also why I declutter them. So the first product I want to show you is actually going to be pretty shocking for some of you guys, I think, and I actually declutter my Tower 28 blush in the shade Rush Hour, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's a really beautiful coral color, but the reason why I decided to declutter this one is not because I don't like the formula. I really enjoy the formula, it's really nice. I have a new one in the shade Magic Hour, and I just much prefer that shade. So Magic Hour is much more like a pinky tone blush, whereas Rush Hour is just a really like corally and sort of like peachy tone blush, and I'm just not really into that. I bought it because Magic Hour was sold out and I just wanted to try the product so bad, but I just really didn't end up reaching for it as much because I would always reach over my Magic Hour one, and because this is a cream and it's also clean beauty, it's probably not going to last a long time, so I really didn't want this product to go to waste, also since I've only like used it 1 or 2 times. So I decided to declutter this blush because I simply don't reach for it. And also I forgot to say, but if there's any products in this video that you love, then please don't be sad. These are just products that I don't reach for myself, but it doesn't mean they're bad products. So just to say, don't worry if you do love these products. But that is my Tower 28 blush in the shade Rush Hour. Another product I decluttered is my Kylie Cosmetics Sipping Pretty palette. I showed this in my makeup collection video I did recently, and I also showed it in a haul at the beginning of 2020 when I got this, and I decided it was finally time to declutter this palette. And it made me a little sad because back at the time when I got it at the beginning of 2020, I really didn't have that many eyeshadow palettes. I think I had like 10 to 15, so definitely not like as much as I have right now. And back then I really enjoyed this palette because it was really like neutral, but you also had some like pops of colors, and I just really enjoyed the quality. And I have to say, it's a really nice palette. I still enjoyed it, but I was just never reaching for it. It just wasn't really the most exciting products. I'm kind of like over Kylie Cosmetics a little bit. I don't know, I don't think they're bad products, I just never really reach for it. I don't find the brand to be like as exciting anymore as I once found it to be. And now with the rebrand, I actually haven't tried anything from the new rebrand, so I probably should try something. But since this palette also wasn't available anymore, I just didn't want to use it in videos because I couldn't like recommend it to you guys since it wasn't available anymore. And to me it sort of felt like a bit of a boring palette, and I paid quite a lot of money for it, so I didn't just want to throw it away. So actually now someone else is able to use it, and I really hadn't used it that much, so I decided it was time to declutter the Kylie Cosmetics Sipping Pretty palette. Again, I think it's quite an underrated palette. I've never seen that many people talk about this, but I really think it is a good palette. I just didn't get the use out of it that I would have hoped, so that is why I decided to declutter this palette. Then another palette I decluttered is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Nervina Volume 1 palette. And this is probably also like a bit of a shock to some people because this is a gorgeous palette, and the only reason I can give you as to why I decided to declutter this is simply because I wasn't reaching for it. And again, if there's a palette sitting in my collection, I hadn't touched it in like a year. I swatched it and I just never used it. I just was like, it's time to declutter this palette, because if I didn't like use it in like half a year or a year time, then I'm probably not going to reach for it a lot as well. I actually bought this in the sale on Feel Unique, and again, I only swatched it. I think I bought it for like 30 or 35 euros, so luckily I didn't pay full price for it. And I was actually able to sell it for just a little bit less than I paid for it. So it really wasn't that bad of a deal, and I'm happy that now someone else is able to use this palette, because I didn't even use it on my eyes one time, which is honestly so sad. I can be so mad at myself for not using that palette because it's absolutely gorgeous, but I guess the color story is just not really for me and I just wasn't enjoying it a lot. So I decided to declutter my Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina Volume 1 palette. I think all the Norvina palettes look so pretty, but I'm just into very neutral makeup. I never really reach for colorful palettes like this, so another palette I decided to declutter. Please don't get mad at me for this, but I actually decluttered my Colourpop Cosmetics Flutter by palette. I actually decluttered this very recently, and I was just going through my palettes and I was like, is there a palette in my collection that I'm just not that big of a fan of, or I'm like not reaching for it? And I was kind of surprised when I thought of the Flutter by palette, because it is a gorgeous palette, but I don't reach for it for some reason. If I want to go for like a mauve look, I always reach for my Too Faced Pumpkin Spice or my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette to sort of create a like mauve eye look. I just feel like I have enough of those shades in my collection that I just don't really reach for the Flutter by. Flutter by is a gorgeous palette, but I was just not reaching for it. And like I said, I just don't like to keep products in my collection that I don't reach for, only if they're like really special product. But this palette's not that special to me. It wasn't that expensive, so I didn't feel too bad getting rid of it, and I don't think I'm going to miss it because I also got the Huda Jaguar palette that has some like mauve tones in there. I have plenty of those shades in my collection and I just wasn't getting use out of that palette. So that is why I decided to declutter my Flutter by palette. Then I decided to declutter another Colourpop product, and this is the Colourpop Cheek Dew Blush. And I don't know, for once I thought I was getting like a faulty product because the formula was just so weird. It really looked like the product had separated in the tube. There was like these chunks of pigments, I guess, and then there was this like really watery bit, and I just couldn't get them to mix. There were still like chunks of pigment within like a puddle of water, if that makes sense. So I thought I was getting a faulty product, but then I heard someone else say that they had the same issue. So I don't know if it's maybe like a batch issue or all of these brushes are like that. I'm just not sure. I've never ordered a new one, so I don't know if all the Colourpop serum blushes are like this. So let me know if you have that product, if you actually like it, and if it actually works for you and doesn't separate, because I really want to know, because I was a bit sad because I had high hopes for this product. It looked really good, but unfortunately it didn't work for me, so I almost immediately decluttered it. I also finally decluttered my Huda Beauty Tentor, and this is not because I didn't like the product. I really did like the product. It worked nice, it blended out nicely, and I sort of liked how it looked. But the reason why I decided to declutter it is actually because I felt like the shade just wasn't right for me. I got the lightest shade, but I still felt it was like way too dark for me. It just wasn't working for me. I was always applying like too much, and it would always like be too much on my face and just look too dark. And I think like the video that I did about my e.l.f. putty bronzer, where I compared it to the Huda one, was kind of like an eye-opener that I really struggle with this product, because as you could also see in that video, the bronzer just looked too dark. I applied too much, but that's so easy when a product is too dark. You literally have to tap your brush in a tiny bit, and if you take a bit too much product on there, it's already going to look too dark on my skin tone. So I decided to declutter it because I now have the e.l.f. putty bronzer, I have the Makeup by Mario stick, I have have the Tower 28 bronzer, I have my Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer, so I have enough cream bronzers right now that I really didn't need this one anymore, because whenever I was actually reaching for a cream bronzer, I would always reach for one of the other ones instead of the Huda Tantor. So I decided to declutter this product as well. If your skin tone is a bit darker than mine, then I definitely think it can be a lovely product because it works really nice. I think the formula is really nice. It just didn't work on my skin tone, so I decided to declutter it before it was going to expire. Okay guys, and this is it for the video about the makeup products I decluttered recently. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and let me know in the comments if there's any of these products that you actually love, or if there's products from this video that you really don't like as well. Again, if you do love these products, then really don't feel bad. These were just like my experiences, and makeup is totally personal, so it can totally be that you love a product that I don't, or I love a product that you don't. So I really wanted to have mentioned that, so please don't feel bad if you love any of these products. Also, if you did enjoy this video, then I would absolutely love it if you gave it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notification bell if you don't want to miss any of my videos. All of these things would help me so much with my channel, and I'd really appreciate it. But with that said, I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I really hope you have an amazing day, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye!